tutorial video. In this video, I'm going to go over the basic account settings and setup for your premium email filtering account with LuxSci. This includes email archiving. First thing you'll need to do is check the support ticket that was created with your account. You'll see in there that we've updated it to include your username for your account. This is normally the default administrative account. In my LuxSci account, admin@tutorial.luxsci.com, that's the user that was created for the control console here. So let me type that in, admin@tutorial.luxsci.com, and then you'll see here if you try to put in your password, for example, I can put in mine, and then click sign in, it's going to give you an error saying that the password is invalid. And that's because the first time you need to actually click on this link down here, forgot your password or need to create a password. So I'm going to click on that. Then I'm going to put in my email address, which was admin@tutorial.luxsci.com. And then I'm going to keep this selected, email password information to my primary email address. The email password information to my domain contact you shouldn't need to use, and if you ever do need to use it, you might want to contact support on the proper use of that. So then click Next. Then you'll see it says, please check that a message has been sent to your email address. So I'm going to go back here to my LuxSci account, hover over email, click on Check My Email, and then we'll see here the control console sign-in information. So I'm going to click on that. Actually, I'm going to double-click to open it up here. And you'll see here it says that there's a request to create a new password. So I'm going to click on the link. That's going to open it up here. Now I can fill in my password and type it in again. And then click Sign In. Then you're going to be asked to fill in a security question, and you should try to pick one that you're going to be able to remember. So I'll just fill in one here, name of first pet, and my answer is cat. Alright, and then I'm going to click OK. And now you're logged into the control console. So here you can see you have a bunch of different settings. This is the main overview page, which gives you some basic information about your premium email filtering account. And I'm actually going to start with account management over here. So click on that. Actually, let me close out of all this stuff here. Alright, so then you'll see here you have the account management area. Now you can manage a couple of different things, like domains and your configuration, as well as your users. These are all of your users that are in your account. By default, this is going to get auto-filled in, so as users begin to receive mail through your domain name, they'll begin to populate this list here. You can click on them to manage them, and you can change things like aliases, as well as their email protection settings on a user level. So let me move on here to domains. Here you see the domain section. This just shows you which domains you have. You can click on each domain to see the various settings that you're able to manage. For example, here I'm able to manage user aliases, but not allowed to manage domain aliases. You can also see the number of users in your domain. Let me click on email protection. You have your quarantine here, and this allows you to search through all quarantine for specific domains, what threat they were caught for, which days, and which direction the mail was going in. Now, depending on the package you have with LuxSci, you might not have outbound as an option. You might have inbound only. Any messages that were caught will show up here. You can then select them to release them, allow always, delete, or you can delete all. You go to policies. This is your basic inbound and outbound spam filtering policies. These are the default ones. You can, of course, create new policies and set the priority of that policy, but I'm going to show you just what a policy looks like. You have all of these different settings up here for your domain. You have virus, spam, content, attachments, your allow and deny list, email authentication, notifications for certain types of messages that come through, disaster recovery if you have that subscription through us, and of course your group subscriptions. So this is where you can find and change all of those settings for your different policy sets in your premium email filter. Then you also have the setup tab. This tab's preset up by support, and you shouldn't need to change anything under here. The only thing you may want to change is the user creation settings, which you can find by clicking here. And you have two different modes: SMTP discovery, which is how I mentioned, when users receive email to email addresses at your domain and they receive enough of them and they're successfully delivered, that will automatically get added as a user. Now, if you would rather manually add the users, you can select explicit, and then you can choose what it should do when a user doesn't exist. The only problem with doing explicit is if you forget to create a user in this portal, even though you've created a user in your LuxSci account, it can end up causing the mail to be denied. So best bet is to use SMTP discovery unless you have a specific reason to be using the manual creation mode. You also have a report section, so you can view more detailed information about what messages are spam and so forth. For email archiving accounts, you have an email archive area, and we'll wait for that to load up here. Now, there's no messages in here, and the email archive is configured by support automatically for you, so it will start to begin to pull in mail. Now, the mail isn't archived instantly. It does take a little bit of time for it to get pulled in and then sorted. So do allow some time for it to come through before you start searching for it. And then you can go in here and click on archived messages, and you can search for messages in the archive: who it was from, who it was to, the date range, and specific text in the message. You also have the advanced search as well, and the archive ID search. So you have a few different options for finding messages, and then of course once you do that, you can use the export option here once you've selected one to export that mail and save it to a local computer, and then maybe import it back into Outlook or another email program. You of course have the reports tab, but I'm going to skip over that and go straight to setup. Here you'll see some different settings in here. Now, you're probably not going to want to check off any of these settings. These settings are configured by the LuxSci staff here when your archive is set up, so you should probably leave all of these as is. Of course, I'm just letting you know that they are available here for you to look at and possibly make changes to. Just make sure that you carefully read what the settings are that you're changing before you make any changes, because it can result in weird issues with your archive. And of course, you have your own account page here, which gives you information on quarantine messages, your deny and allow lists, as well as archive messages for your specific user. And each user in your email filtering account is going to look like this. It's going to have their My Account section where they can view all that information. And then when you're all done, you can just click on Sign Out, and then you're back to the login page. And remember, to get to this page, all you have to type in is email-defense.luxsci.com, and that will redirect you to the proper page. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please create a support ticket within your account, and we'll be glad to help.